Hello, I'm Robert, a voluntary fact checker and helping you if you're scared of many things. And this is a very basic, simple point that not many people seem to understand about, and Trump himself doesn't understand this. So this is about what Zelensky can and can't do by way of a ceasefire. So what he can do is he can agree to stop fighting. And the president has the ability to do that in Ukraine. And if he agrees to stop fighting, then for instance, here's Kramatorsk, which is in the fortification belt in Donetsk. And this is currently held by Ukraine. Kramatorsk will remain in Ukraine, in the Ukraine-held region. And Donetsk, which is the Donetsk city, which is held by the Russians, then that will remain in occupied Ukraine and under Russian control. And then they would draw a borderline all the way along the current line of contact. And they would probably straighten it out a bit in places, like some of these wrinkles. But they wouldn't even be able to give away Pokrovsk to Russia if Russia hasn't yet taken it. So that is what Zelensky can do with his authority as president. Now, what Trump wants Zelensky to do is to give Kramatorsk to Russia. Well, we don't know exactly what the details would be, but that would be one example. Now, in the Ukrainian constitution, the inhabitants of Kramatorsk have a say in this, as do all the Ukrainians in Ukraine. The only way that Zelensky can give Kramatorsk to Russia is after a referendum. And before Zelensky can even hold a referendum, he has to have a ceasefire, because it is not permitted to have a referendum during martial law. And then once he has a ceasefire, he then has very major problems. For instance, there are 1 million Ukrainian refugees in Poland. And there's only one polling place, the Ukrainian embassy. And it's simply impossible for one Ukrainian embassy to handle a queue of 1 million people waiting to poll. I think anyone can agree that that's just not possible. And when you work through the numerous other practical difficulties, and all the Ukrainian parties have agreed informally, they haven't yet passed this as a law, but they very likely would very quickly, they have agreed that it is impossible to have any kind of a vote until at least 6 months after a ceasefire. So what can Zelensky do? So he has the authority to, so that's all the text on the image. So, so I explained all that. And he can't know if the people approve of territorial swap, at least until 6 months after the ceasefire. This is why he can't agree to it. He can't even say that Ukrainian people will agree to a territorial swap, because he doesn't know that in advance. It depends what they say in the referendum. So what he can do, he can legally cede Russian territory. He can't legally cede without a referendum. He can't agree to a major territorial swap. He can agree to stop fighting immediately. And he can agree to a peace treaty that will recognize that Russia occupies part of Ukraine, but that has to be approved by the Ukrainian people. All he can do as president is just say, we're going to stop the fighting, if you do on your side. He can't come to any formal agreement. That's all he can just do. He does not require Russia to leave occupied Ukraine. So Zelensky and Trump, they're going to try the very best they can to get a ceasefire across the line. But Zelensky and he's wanted the war since it started. He said on X, and this is my short summary, that Ukraine must be present for technical issues. So there's no way that this can be sorted out with Trump, who doesn't even know the most basic ideas about Ukrainian law and what a president can and can't do. I mean, it's obvious. And then he has these other things, that they have to have security guarantees, the killing must stop, and prisoners born, children released, and sanctions should be strengthened if Russia evades the requirements on it. So yeah, now there was something I just want to talk about all that in separate videos. Just go and talk a little bit further down. So I just want, yes, this is the Ukraine views on a peace treaty. So de facto means an agreement similar to the agreement between East Germany and Soviet Union during the time of the Soviet Union. An agreement to stop fighting and to resort to peaceful negotiation only. And that's the only kind of treaty that has any chance of success. According to polling, there's about 48% in favour, 43% opposed, and there's 9% that haven't made their mind up. So you just need to get another 2% of those 9% undecided, and you can get that across the line. It's very close, similar to the Brexit referendum, but that is something that Zelensky might be able to do. If he doesn't succeed in that, then the ceasefire would just continue, and then they would try other peace treaties, and they keep trying until they find something that sticks. So that's the only game in town here. So that's the very simple thing that I wanted to explain to you, that this is the only thing that even Zelensky has no choice in this. This is the only thing he can do. So I'll put a link to this blog post in the video description and upload this short video, and hopefully this helps some of you to have a better understanding of what's going on.